Colorado at West Virginia may not be the most exciting game, but there are some storylines that we need to follow. Colorado and West Virginia both sit at 3-6, so their bowl hopes are on the line in this one. And while two 3-6 teams aren't exactly the teams that you maybe want to talk about, there are still some things that we need to discuss. Colorado first. When you look at Colorado coming into this year, this is a fan base that still very much expected this team to compete for a Big 12 championship, to be able to compete with the best of the best. Yes, they lost Shedeur Sanders. Yes, they lost Travis Hunter and a number of other big time players, but they expected Coach Prime to still do great things. Now, there's been a number of things that have popped up and affected their performance. Coach Prime's health. I really hope that everything's okay. I'm very curious what he's looking at long term, because I do think that he has the ability to build an exciting program. You look at the last couple of years and how we've talked about the Buffs. This is a team that is very much fun to watch. Whether you like them or not, I think that they're an easy topic to discuss. That's what makes college football so fun, is when you have a big topic to discuss. And Colorado has been one of those teams. Now, this year, it hasn't really been the case. Quarterback play has been relatively inconsistent. Injuries have played a role. And then the off-field stuff with Coach Prime's health. So I think there are a number of things that have contributed to this. But I also think that if you had expectations of Colorado being this great team, I think that you potentially did this team a disservice. Now, I didn't think this was going to be a bad team, but this was always going to be a team that took a step back. You lost a number of talented players. To say that you just have another Travis Hunter or Shedeur Sanders or some of the other players that were playing for you last year kind of discredits their abilities. So if you're Colorado, you had to at least take a different approach to this season, because you weren't going to have the success you did last year. Now, it comes down to these final few games, right? You have 3 games left in your season. How do you fight? How do you compete? And we've seen this coaching staff talk about competing and fighting for what you deserve. And so far, we've seen at times this team do that, but there also have been instances where it's been bad. And the last couple of weeks have been pretty brutal. So what should we expect for the final 3 games? Is this a team that's going to rally together and figure it out? Or are they going to slip up and just limp their way to the finish line? That's a big question that I have for this team, is what kind of effort are we going to see, especially even after this week? Say they keep their bowl hopes alive, that's going to keep their motivation. But if they lose this game and their bowl hopes are gone, what does that mean going forward? That's a big time question. And I think that this is a group that's still going to have success down the road, but there are a lot of question marks about what this team is going to do, whether it's the coaching staff uncertainty, whether it's a number of other things. The transfer portal, recruiting, everything is going to play a role in how you feel about this team. And they're going against a West Virginia team that is in a better place despite having the same record. Rich Rodriguez knows how to coach. He knows how to build a program, and he knows how to get his guys to play with good energy and compete. And you saw last week against Houston, they know how to compete. They know how to win. And you probably don't know, or at least the casual fan probably doesn't know, who most of West Virginia's roster is. You could probably put it on one hand the number of people that a casual fan could name from West Virginia. The quarterback position has been kind of a carousel so far this year, but maybe they found something in Scotty Fox Jr. Last week against Houston, he looked very confident in this offense, whether that was running the football or throwing the football. And this is a position that became even more pivotal because Jaheim White gets hurt. They lose him for the rest of the year. You needed the quarterback position to play a role. And yes, it's year 1 in Rich Rod's system in his second tenure with West Virginia. But we're already seeing the effects that he has on a team that a lot of people expected to be one of the worst in the Big 12. Now, they're still near the bottom, but this is a team that is headed in the right direction. The passing attack hasn't been elite for West Virginia this year, but we've seen some really exciting moments. Cam Vaughn has made a number of big time catches, a number of highlight reel catches, including last week against Houston. It feels like every time I've watched a West Virginia game, I look up and Cam Vaughn's making some sort of ridiculous one-handed catch to score a touchdown. So this is a team that is in a better place than Colorado, despite the fact that they have the same record. And when you look at what both teams have coming up for a schedule, you have a little bit more concern for Colorado in terms of their effort. But West Virginia also, the likelihood that they make a bowl game with what they have remaining is not super likely. So when you look at the Buffs' remaining schedule, they obviously go to West Virginia this week, but they have to play Arizona State and Kansas State. So the combination of effort and energy along with the schedule, not great. West Virginia, I feel like in a better place. However, after Colorado, they have to go to Arizona State and host Texas Tech. So when you look at the odds that either of these teams makes a bowl game, it's not very good. The problem is that I think one of these teams is going to handle that adversity a little bit better because they're in a better position. They're better equipped to handle that with what's going on with their team right now. So in terms of who wins this game, based on what we've seen in the last couple of weeks, I mean, Colorado is getting just obliterated right now. When you're getting outscored 105-24 in the last two games, that speaks to something needs to change. Something needs to be fixed. And it's not just the offense, it's not just the defense, it's both sides of the ball. Everything about this team needs to get fixed. And I don't know if that's going to happen in the final three games. So I feel more confident that West Virginia is going to get the job done because Rich Rod has shown that he can take the long-term fix approach to his program. And then who knows what happens after there. Arizona State isn't exactly invincible. Texas Tech, that's a little bit more of a stretch to say that West Virginia would win that game, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on depending on how this one goes. And it's at West Virginia. Colorado is going on the road. And again, I don't wish any ill will towards this Buffs program. I just have concerns about it. And I had concerns about it coming into the year. I knew that they would take a step back, but they've taken another step or two in the wrong direction since the beginning of the season. So I'm going with West Virginia to win this game. They're at home. They're playing with more confidence. They have their quarterback situation figured out. Yes, their defense is probably going to give up some points, but Rich Rod knows how to win these types of games, and he has this team in the right position to be able to make things happen. So I'm going to go with West Virginia to continue their exciting little stretch here, even though they have one game winning streak after losing 5 in a row. This is an opportunity for them to build momentum for the end of the year, but also into 2026, where Rich Rod can really get his guys focused on, we're going to make a bowl game, and then we'll see what we can do from there.